The emblem event for Space Time is until February 25, which is 2 days before Pokemon Day. These decks will guarantee a 95% chance to get you the gold emblem quickly. Some are free to play while others may need time to build it through doing wonder picks or spending pack points. Let's start with the Growlithe and Ninetale. The good thing about this is that lots of other Pokemon can be mixed in too for extra spice. Like if there's Moltres in the beginning, it could tank the team with 140 HP, while Growlithe is storing energy in the bench. And when it evolves to Arcanine, it actually deals 120 damage just from being stage 1, and it is way quicker to evolve than Infernape, so in my opinion, Arcanine works way better for a free-to-play deck. And best part comes with Blaine's supporter card, where he does 30 extra damage for Ninetales, leading to 120. So it's much better if you want to one-shot those Pokemon like Mew EX. Tools also come in handy, both the Giant Cape and Rocky Helmet. It's up to you to customize this deck, it's very versatile. For the next deck, you only need 2 different Pokemon, and that is Exeggutor and Yanmega. This one shouldn't be underestimated because right at the beginning with 1 energy, Exeggutor can deal up to 80 damage. And if it's going against the Darkrai deck, it increases to 100 because of its weakness. Yanmega can work with any deck because as we could see, the energies on the card are colorless. Any type would work for Yanmega's attack, so feel free to add this to any of your decks. Opponent just conceded right before I evolved my Yanma. But let's not forget about Lucario. This one has a boost of 20 damage for every fighting type Pokemon. Add any fighting type Pokemon, preferably Aerodactyl or Marowak. Because Marowak, if it does those 2 coin flips, it's very lucky. Rocky Helmet is a recommended tool as a bonus. Thing I like about fighting decks is Marshadow on the bench waiting until a Pokemon gets knocked out. Another fighting deck I'd like to introduce is Rampardos. This aggressive deck doesn't have a single EX in it, and it is easy to get through pack points. Rampardos with 1 energy deals 130 damage, that's insane. But it does do 50 damage to itself if an opponent's Pokemon is knocked out, so it's best to keep potions and other Pokemon at the bench as a backup. Let's go to the water decks. This one is very versatile again. If you want to go the meta route, Palkia EX is there. Misty card returns again, but if it fails to land heads, there's an active mana feed that will provide energy for Palkia, and Palkia could get switched out once it has enough energy. Vaporeon and Articuno are nice additions too, cause Eevee in the beginning once again with the coin flips could be lucky at times and then just one-shot the opponent. If you don't have Vaporeon or Articuno, Starmie EX could be put instead. This deck is by far one of the most craziest decks ever. If one word had to be given, it's a nightmare. Which it literally is because Darkrai is a Pokemon that gives nightmares to the point one girl passed away in the games. Lots of people hype this deck up and it is worth the hype. And it's all because of Magneton and Magnezone. We see that Magneton didn't have enough energy right now, but since we evolved it to Magnezone, it gets cut to 3 energies. And Darkrai in the background just doing 20 damage, then we one-shot it with 110. Then the Moltres just goes down, and then I get the frustration. Using this deck in game feels like chess, cause the opponent doesn't expect certain things like Dawn giving Magneton's energy to Darkrai when it only had 2. Then Darkrai could just use that 80 damage attack with his ability as well, once again. Druddigon pops in here and there in the Golem and Greninja decks, but it works well with the Darkrai. I recommend this deck if you want a win streak to the gold emblem. Darkrai EX can be obtained through wonder picks if you don't have it. I don't see many people using this deck, but this is pretty broken. If you manage to fully evolve both Ghastly and Duskull, the Dusknoir takes all the damage from Gengar away. So the Gengar is at full HP, and this one can be difficult to time it out though, if the right cards aren't pulled. But Gengar EX's ability where you can't use any supporter cards really does come in handy, because if you want to use like a Cyrus card, we can't use that ever. The last deck you already know I have to put is Cynthia. This is the deck that I use in battles. We got Togekiss and Cresselia. Reason why I put Giratina and Cresselia is for them to be in the front while evolving Togepi. Once Giratina has tanked up all the damage, we switch to Togekiss. Once Togekiss is ready, it uses that 60 damage and deals another 60 the next turn. It's 170 in total if Cynthia is there. No matter what decks there are times when it could get unlucky when drawing cards. But when the right cards line up, these decks are unstoppable. Give it a shot and see how it goes.